The doors to the Viridian Tea House are open once more. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a really good day. So far, my day has been absolutely fantastic, which brings me into the news. I will begin working at the Golden Farmers Market. The hours are from 8 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon on Saturdays. And my first date will be June 17th, and I will have tea and books and artwork and silly jokes and whatever. But I do want to talk about two new blends that I'll have with me. First is I brought back the Farmer's Market blend, and I have this in sampler sizes like this and full sizes, which is this size but completely full of tea. And the ingredients are green tea, watercress, and saffron. Unfortunately, I won't have a cup for you to smell the tea blend, but basically the grassy vegetal green mixed in with the slightly herbal, spicy watercress mixed with the exotic warm taste of the saffron makes for an excellent farmer's market tea blend. Like, it feels like you're tasting zucchini that's been kissed by the sun for the first time, or that's what I think. But yeah, so I will have regular size bags and sampler size bags of the Farmer's Market tea blend. And then this is a new blend. Right now I just have samplers, but it's called Going to the Bookstore blend. And this is green tea, Tumoy purple tea, compliments of Asami Tea Company. Hello, everybody. Elderberry, lemongrass, and ginger. I just thought, I know that a lot of people, when they think of like bookstores, like secondhand bookstores or whatever, they think of like vanilla and lavender and so on and so forth. But with this blend, it's like, I'm going on an adventure. I'm just going to the bookstore. What books am I going to take home with me today? What books are going to make me do a double take? And maybe I won't see any books today, or maybe I'll see a ton of books today. But in honor of all the bookstores all throughout this lovely planet of ours, thank you so much, to all the bookstores and the bookshops, and of course the libraries as well. But really, the bookstores, I I've been to a number of bookstores in my life. And in fact, little side story. So when I was younger, my mom used to give me what we call Chick-fil-A money. And I would take that money and I would go to Walden Books in the mall. You guys remember Walden Books and Brentanos and stuff like that? And whenever my mom was finished trying on clothes or whatever, she would find me in the bookstore. And 9 times out of 10, I didn't use the Chick-fil-A money for actually Chick-fil-A. I actually used it in the bookstore. And that love of bookstores and libraries, of just loving books, has always been with me. So for all of you indie bookstores out there, for Barnes & Noble, for all the bookstores all over the world, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so let's get to reviewing some books. So these two books are, let's see, one came from Denver Public Library and one came from Arapahoe Library District. So yay to the libraries. So the first one, it deals with a subject matter that I was completely unfamiliar with. And I thought, you know what? I've been wanting to read this book. I've heard a lot about this book. Thankfully, Denver Public Library had it, and it's called Through Forests of Every Color, Awakening with Koans by Joan Sutherland. I hope I pronounced koans correctly. So what's a koan? It is, let's see. In the center of the cosmos, inside heaven and earth, there is one treasure hidden in your body. It picks up a lantern and walks into the meditation hall. Through Forests of Every Color takes an intimate spiritual and literary journey through the world of koans. Joan Sutherland explores the profound potential of this classical Chinese and Japanese practice to make us permeable to the joys and the anguish of this life, and to the primordial mystery we glimpse behind the veil of the everyday. Now, a little bit about Joan Sutherland. Joan Sutherland Roshi is a teacher in the Koan tradition, co-founder of the Pacific Zen School, and founder of the Open Source, a network of communities. A translator from classical Chinese, she is the author of Vimalakirti and the Awakened Heart. Again, I hope I pronounced that correctly. She now lives on the coast of Northern California, focusing on Cloud Dragon, the Joan Sutherland Dharma Works, a nonprofit organization that disseminates her teachings. What's with me today? But this is published through Shambhala Publications up in Boulder, Colorado. So basically, I read all of that, and it's like, so that's great and all, but what exactly is a koan? And in my interpretation after reading this book, it's basically a phrase or a statement that makes you stop thinking in a rational, logical sense and to turn inward to seek the answer. One of the more famous ones is, what is the sound of one hand clapping? That kind of thing. But I did find that this book kind of challenged the way that I thought. You know, I'm becoming more and more exposed to Buddhist works ever since moving here to Colorado. And I'm noticing that like my logic and sometimes my anxiety kind of fights it and says, well, this doesn't make any sense. You know, how can this happen? This doesn't make any sense. And gradually over time, it's just been, don't fight. Read it for what it is. Turn inward and discover the answer for yourself. Sometimes it doesn't require Google. It doesn't require Wikipedia. Sometimes, like I said, it's turning inward. And this kind of elevated my awareness. You know, I do meditation. I've been doing meditation for years. This took it to a whole new level for me. The only thing, I guess, problem I had with Through Forests of Every Color is I really wanted to know, and maybe this is my fault, but I really wanted to know, well, how do I write a koan? How do I engage in this practice? You know, can I do it while drinking tea? Can I do it after I've meditated? So that part really wasn't talked about too much, and I guess it's just kind of maybe up to you. But overall, if you are looking for books to expand your mindfulness, to work on your meditation practices, or if you are seeking more books involving Buddhism and Buddhist traditions, you really can't go wrong with Through Forests of Every Color. I mean, it really was overall an uplifting and a quiet, meditative, and reflective read. And for that, it receives 4 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. Overall, I really did enjoy it. But like I said, my only problem with it was I really wanted to learn how to get into the practice of writing these statements, these quiet aha moments. And maybe there is no guide. There's a guide to understanding it, but in terms of writing it, you just need to do it. So, but yes, Through Forests of Every Color by Joan Sutherland, published through Shambhala Publications up in Boulder, Colorado. Thank you. So my next book, this is the one that comes from Arapaho. I think I've said this before, but because I attended prep school for a summer session, I kind of have romanticized any kind of book or experience that deals with prep school. It's such a microcosm of a world. You know, you have the outside world, and then in prep school, it's just completely different rules, different guidelines, different structures of society, and you come out of it seeing the world vastly different than the majority of people who live on this planet. So I read School Days by Jonathan Galassi. And let me just read the dust jacket for you. The new novel from acclaimed poet and publisher asks fundamental questions about love and sex, friendship and rivalry, desire, and power in the age-old dance of benevolence and attraction between teacher and student. Sam Brandt is a long-term denizen of Connecticut's renowned Leverett School. As an English teacher, he has dedicated his life to providing his students with the same challenges, encouragement, and sense of possibility that helped him and his friends become themselves here half a lifetime ago. Then Leverett's headmaster asked Sam to help investigate a charge brought by one of his classmates that he was abused by a teacher. Sam is flooded with memories, above all of his overwhelming love for his friend Eddie and the support of his most inspiring mentor, Theodore Gibson. Sam's search for the truth becomes a quest to get at the heart of Leverett then and now. The school has changed enormously over the years, but at its core lie assumptions about privilege and responsibility, untested for more than a century. And Sam's assumptions about his own life are shaken too, as he struggles to understand what really happened all those years ago. So the author was quite interesting. Jonathan Galassi is the chairman of Farrar, Straus and Giroux. He is a former poetry editor for the Paris Review, a former chairman of the Academy of American Poets, and the recipient of a Guggenheim Fellowship for Poetry. His poems and essays have appeared in the New Yorker, New York Review of Books, Threepenny Review, and The Nation. He has published 3 books of poetry and translations of the poetry of Eugenia Montale, Giacomo Leopardi, and Primo Levi. I'm a Francophile, but I just kind of roll with that Italian. I hope I said those right. His first novel, Muse, was published in 2015. So I made the mistake of looking at Goodreads, and a lot of people trashed this book. A lot. And some people were saying, oh, was this just published because of who he is and his connections? Maybe, I don't know, but I don't want to judge that way. I read the book. I loved his writing style. Pulls you in. Like I said, this deals with prep school in Connecticut, and it dealt with Leverett in the 60s with Sam when he was a student, and now when he is a teacher. I had some problems with this book. The writing really got me. I really enjoyed it, but one, I saw quite a number of errors in the book, which you can't escape that. I'm an author and an editor, and I know that even if a manuscript is reviewed by 10 pairs of eyes, you're still going to miss something. So that just let that slide. But the one thing that got me was when Sam attended the school back in the 60s, apparently most, if not all, of the young men were involved in romantic friendships with other young men. And some of the teachers kind of dallied with the students, and getting to the crux of the matter, if this one particular teacher actually engaged in interesting activities with several of the students, you don't really know. And then even at the end, it's kind of a weak, this is what happened. I didn't feel that solid resolve. I mean, yeah, the question got answered, but it just felt a little bit weak. And there was so much build up, so that, at the end, like I said, it kind of fell flat for me. But like I said, to go back to what I was saying earlier, the fact that almost all the young men had homosexual leanings, it stretched the imagination. It really did. It really, really did. Now, having said that, I'm not saying that, there's no way that stuff like that could happen back in the 60s. No, it probably did, and I know this is a work of fiction, but it just seemed a little bit, really? Really? I just felt that way. But it was an okay story, and I loved the passion. Yeah, just go ahead and say it. I love the passion that Sam had for his friend Eddie that continued all throughout the years. And even many, many, many years later, when they've gone their separate ways and when they come together, that passion is still there. I really did it. I really enjoyed reading about that, very much so. But yeah, just overall, I was kind of meh and with the book. So it receives 3 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. But like I said, I enjoyed his writing style. I really did. I got pulled into the story. The romantic friendships and partnerships and homosexual activity, it was just kind of like but I also enjoyed reading about Sam and Eddie, and actually about Sam's awakening. You know, when the book starts, it's in now, and he's I think he's divorced and has kids. But then at the very end, he kind of comes to his own awakening, and I kind of liked how he allowed the flower to blossom. I guess that's the best way to put it. Um, but to kind of spoil it, yes, he does realize he really is gay, and he he becomes gay, but he's always been gay, and I think that's awesome. But I just, again, I love that friction, passion between Sam and Eddie. I really loved it. But unfortunately, it's gonna get 3 pots of tea from me. So, but now again, I keep waffling back and forth. I swear, this book gave me so many waffling. I was like, well, there's this, but there's this, but there's this, but there's this. I really want to read his book Muse. I have a feeling I'm gonna love it. So again, School Days, Jonathan Galassi. I'll shut up about it. 3 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. Can't wait to read Muse. Cannot wait. Did I get the book wet? Oh, don't want to do that to a library book. All right, so getting to the tea portion, I'm not really going to review a tea. This is, I think I've reviewed the green tea of this company before, but this is the black tea. This is Richard and Richard Royal Tea, Royal Ceylon. Just a straight up cup of black tea in my lovely Sakura Dragon mug from Aegean Goods. Awesome, awesome work. And I think this weekend, the owner of Aegean Goods will be at SoonerCon in Oklahoma. So if you happen to be going to SoonerCon, check out his work because he's a master. He truly is. But anyway, that is all I have. So before wrapping up, let's do a breathing meditation with your favorite cup of tea or water. You know the drill, so I won't go into it, but I'll wait a few seconds so you can get your tea or water. You got it? Okay, cool. Let's begin. One thing I do want to say about my meditation is inhaling, I try to fill my entire body, and I try to like pull the air from my feet and from the ground, just fill my entire body with air. And then when I exhale, I love to make it just stream out. So it sounds like I'm almost hissing, but just to kind of see how long can I allow that exhale to go. So yeah, if you hear me and it's like, what is she doing? It's kind of like this meditative thing that I really enjoy doing. So try it yourself. And now as we end this meditation, let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Slowly open your eyes or allow your eyes to come back into focus. And now have a sip of your favorite tea or your water. Many thanks to Jonathan Galassi and Joan Sutherland for their wonderful books. Also, as always, many thanks to Denver Public Library and Arapahoe Libraries for having such a killer selection. I love engaging with my libraries. I really do. And living out here in Colorado, I have access to 4 different library districts. So I just love it. And I have a stack of books by my bed. And I think I always say this, but I love it. I really do. I love walking into a library and checking out books. And then I love reading the books and loving them so much that I go to the bookstore and I purchase a copy for my personal library. Libraries and bookstores, just love them. And speaking as a reader and a bibliophile and a published author, just thank you. Thank you so much. And to you readers out there as well, who may also be authors and editors and work in bookstores and are librarians, just let's keep this going. Just let's keep this going. Let's never stop reading. Let's never stop discovering. Use that library card until you see steam coming out of it. Go to the indie bookstores and just go on an adventure and discover something new. That's what I do every time. In fact, once I'm done with this video, I'm going to the library because I have about 3 or 4 books I've got on hold that I need to pick up. So let me cut out of here, but take care of yourself and each other. Raise your lovely teacup high. And as always, remember that to drink tea is to enjoy life. I'll see y'all really soon. Bye for now.